Oh yeah, Testosterone Sports back in the house. Jeff Pearson in with Zach Miller. Love to have you on the show, man. The show we love to do. It is week 13 in the NFL, and likewise in your fantasy football lineups. I hope everything's been going well for you in the last couple of weeks, and that you're making your playoff push. Seeding is starting to happen, and this next win for you this week is vitally important. So you're going to want to pay close attention. Jesse and Eric Nelson got the show kicked off really well with the Vikings. Vikings big victory last week. Loved it. Also loved to see the Packers going down to the hands of the Saints, even without Reggie Bush. So what's up with that, Packer fans? They don't even have their best player and you still can't win? I mean, yeah, I know it was in their house. They're up against the wall and they need a win. But, I mean, I'm telling you, the Pack should have done better than that. Rodgers, 2 crucial picks. We're going to talk about this for just one quick second before we segue into the New Orleans matchup. But wasn't it great to see Rodgers get picked off twice, Zach?
Well, a couple of his throws, he was under a lot of pressure, but it was just nice to see the Packers lose. And the way they lost, I mean, giving it up defensively, especially the way their secondary's been playing. They've been playing, top notch all season long. Number 1 secondary in all of the league, and Drew Brees just tore them apart. I mean, he completed 2 70-yard touchdowns.
Right.
One to Colson, one to Lance Moore. I mean, he threw at will whenever he wanted. I think he missed his first pass and completed like his next 10 or 11, and he absolutely torched that secondary. And it was great to see as a Vikings fan, which puts us right on top. We have a huge, huge game coming up against the Bears, and if we win, we're in first place.
Hey, man, and it would be amazing to see that happen. So we're definitely going to be pulling for the Vikings. You notice here the horn that has become a staple on our show. This is the horn of plenty, all out Thanksgiving, and we'd love to wish all of you and yours out there a very happy Thanksgiving this year. I, for one, am very thankful for the NFL and for the playoff push in the fantasy football world, and it's going to be exciting. So let's jump right into the matchups. We spoke about New Orleans. They take their game to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, a team that has been surprising. I know they've been a playoff team in the past, but they're really, really doing well. Zach, it's going to be a good divisional matchup. Why don't we start off with who you like to win that game and how they'll get there?
Well, New Orleans is coming off just a huge win, like you said. I mean, they were at home playing against the Packers, and I believe this game is in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's been playing, great defense all year long, and Jeff Garcia's got the offense doing just enough. I know they're without Ernie Graham for the rest of the year, but Warwick Dunn is filling in very nicely. And Cadillac Williams actually got some carries last week, and I think he's going to get a few more reps as the season progresses here. And I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa Bay at home just because it is down at Raymond James Stadium. I just think they got the better defense in this game. I mean, New Orleans can't really stop anybody. I mean, even the Packers still put up 29 points on them last night. So I just feel like with Tampa Bay's defense being the more superior defense, that they're going to come away with the win in this game.
Well, I can definitely purchase what you're peddling about the Buccaneers. Yeah. They've been solid, especially at home. It's going to be an interesting game. Zach, one quick question about Reggie Bush. He was a potential start in last week's game. He was unable to go. What do you think they're going to use him here in a divisional game? What's your gut instinct on that? I mean, I know you're not their trainer.
Yeah. Well, in this game, I mean, if he's healthy, I mean, they're going to want to get him in this game, especially against a really quick defense that Tampa Bay brings, because they're going to want to get him around the edges because he's got the speed to pick up yards around the edge and then try and hammer up the middle with Pierre Thomas or Deuce. But actually, Pierre Thomas is getting a lot more carries than Deuce. I think they're starting to fade Deuce out a little bit. They're going to give him a few goal line carries. I know he broke the record last night, which was big for him. But I think Pierre Thomas, I mean, he's a dual threat, too, and he catches the ball in the backfield. And it just gives Drew Brees even one more option outside Reggie Bush as well. So I think if he's ready to go, he's close to 100%, he's going to play in this game because this is a huge game for them and a must-win for New Orleans.
Well, in my opinion, the Buccaneers are fantastic against the pass, and I'm going to tell everybody not to chase the stat line so much on Marcus Colston. I just think that the secondary from Tampa Bay is top-notch, and that they're going to be knowing that they have to contain Drew Brees in the passing game, so they're going to want to lock down that number 1 style receiver. So he should be double-teamed all game, and they're going to notice what Lance Moore did in the last game. He's developed into their number 2 wide receiver, highly potent, so they're going to play a real strong game. If Bush gets in the game, that's how the Saints can win this game because his speed on the outside is going to really match up well against the Buccaneers defense. They're a little bit older, not as fast as they once were, but so I think that it all hinges on Bush. So it's going to be a really great game. I'm looking forward to watching it, and I'm pulling for the Buccaneers to win myself. On to the NFC East in a big divisional matchup. The Giants bring their hot streak into Washington. It's going to be a great game. Zach, Clint Portis still number 1 in the NFL in rushing, There was some speculation about whether or not he would play a couple of weeks ago. He's been playing and been very effective still. It's going to be a great game, but I don't know what to think. How's Clint going to do, in your opinion?
Well, Portis, he's been steady all year. I mean, even playing against some of these tougher defenses in his own division with Philadelphia and Dallas, and the first time he played Washington, he did really well. He's just having an outstanding year. Even last game, he got a little bit of a hip pointer at the end of the first half, and you thought, well, I mean, he's been dealing with injuries the last couple of weeks. Well, he ain't going to come back in the second half. Not only did he come back in the second half of that game, he came back and he ran for another 70, I think 75, 80 yards in that game. I think he had 65 at halftime, and he finished with 140, 143, I believe. And he's just running really hard, and he's the key to that offense. He's going to get tough yards, and he's one of those running backs. He's big, he's strong. He's going to get his yards in the first half, but he's really going to open up in the second half and start wearing down that defense. So I expect a solid game out of Clinton Portis, and as he goes is the way the Washington offense goes, and he provides Jason Campbell. I mean, he's going to get those tough rushing yards and open things up for Jason Campbell in the passing game.
Yeah, Washington is a very good team at home, and I'm going to actually predict them to win this game. I mean, Clint Portis already has 1,200 yards on the season, so they're going to keep him involved. I think that this team is a team that's dealt with some adversity in the past, especially with the devastation of the loss of Sean Taylor last year. Their core group of veterans, I'm sure they probably came together through that situation, and they're playing at a very high level now. They added D'Angelo Hall, and I think that's going to pay dividends for them on their playoff push. They need to win this game if they want to go to the playoffs, and I think they're going to hold strong. On the other side of the ball, Zach, it was crazy for me to see Plaxico Burress in last game. They got him out there. They threw him the ball the very first play, and then he sat. What's that about?
Well, he was dealing with some ailments, and I don't know if they were going to try and test him out and get him out in the game, and he must have got in there and came out and said, you know, I just can't go. I don't want to make it worse. I think more or less that's what it was. They're just going to test him and see if he could, and obviously he could not go.
Well, there's been some definite speculation about his attitude in recent weeks, and we were talking about a little bit pre-show that perhaps that was Tom Coughlin's way of sending a message to his star receiver. Burress, if he expected to play, he was all suited up and everything. That was a big-time game for the Giants because it's against the Cardinals in their house. Cardinals are the best team in their division, so that's a potential playoff matchup right there. You know they wanted to do well, and I think that there's something to be said about not showing your opponent your best weapon, and it also sends a message to Burress. So for me, I wonder if that might be part of the case there. Brandon Jacobs also didn't play. He was a last-minute scratch. Derek Ward looked great. The Giants continue to win no matter what they face against. The loss of Shockey or the way that it ended with Shockey kind of maybe taught them that, hey, we don't need some of these bitchy, high-priced players. We can do it without those guys.
And that's what's big about this team. They can plug anybody in, and they're going to perform. I mean, Steve Smith's come in and performed really well. Dominic Hickson. I mean, Amani Toomer, I know he's an ageless veteran, but he's still in there and producing. And it just seems like no matter who they plug in their offense, they're going to produce regardless.
Yep.
So,
I mean, this could be like the game of the week. It's going to be fantastic to watch. Playoff positioning all around the board here. So pay close attention to see, because as these teams progress in the next few weeks, you're going to want to make sure to know what's going on with Brandon Jacobs and his injury. Same thing with Burress and Portis with the knee. Santana Moss has been a little bit cool, but I think he makes a pretty good start here. Jason Campbell's not flashy or great, but he's consistent. So Cooley, the same thing. He's been a little bit down, but you can go ahead and start him here. Moving right along to the next matchup, one that's a little bit less interesting. San Francisco going to Buffalo. These two teams, neither of them are doing very much. San Francisco all year. Buffalo hot, then cold. I think they'll get business done here, but they're not circling the wagons like we've known them to do in the past.
And it's a big game for Buffalo because they're sitting at 6-5. They're only 2 games out of first in the way the Jets are playing. I don't expect them to catch up, but if they want any chance at all, they're going to have to beat a team that they're supposed to beat, the San Francisco 49ers. They can't afford to lose this game at all. So I expect their offense. I mean, they put up 54 points last week against the Chiefs. I mean, you obviously can't expect that again, but you could expect their offense to be highly productive in this game. Marshawn Lynch and Fred Jackson run the ball really well. Marshawn Lynch is really picking things up.
Finally.
Finally. He had his first 100-yard game 2 weeks ago, and he had over 100 yards and a touchdown last game. And Trent Edwards, he's got a whole new vote of confidence the last couple of weeks after he struggled through the middle part of the year. And he's played 2 really good games back to back now. This is just one of those games where he's got to come out, produce, throw for a high percentage, and get his team the victory over the lowly 49ers.
He needs to get the ball to Lee Evans. I mean, Lee Evans ranks number 42 on the receptions list right now. That's not pretty.
He had over 100 yards last game, so he finally got on the ball.
He's got 3 touchdowns on the year. Yeah, he started to get things turned around. I think that continues here. There's some talented but aging veterans in the cornerback situation for San Francisco. So I as well like the Buffalo team and players on a fantasy football level, and I'm interested to see what Lee Evans might do to build on his last game. For San Francisco, you can't really play anybody. I mean, you got to keep Gore active, but he disappeared last week.
Yeah, he was just underused last week. I know they got behind early playing Dallas, and Dallas played really good, but he still only had, I think, 12 or 13 carries for 28 yards, and he wasn't really involved in the passing game either. And you got a guy like Frank Gore, he's great out of the backfield, and you can get him in open space, and he can make plays, and they didn't use him. So it was a little bit confusing to me. He's just one of those players. He's easily the best player on that team. So for them to underuse Frank Gore is just a little bit baffling to me.
And I don't understand why they aren't throwing him the ball more.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's maybe Sean Hill. He's their new starter. He's doing fairly well, another former Viking.
They're all over the league now, starting.
And anyway, but he should hit the swing pass to Frank Gore. I am impressed to see what Vernon Davis has done. We've talked about it a couple times on the show, kind of a speculation as to whether or not the embarrassment on national television of him getting sent, or that wasn't national television, but in their game, getting sent out of the game by Mike Singletary.
During the game.
Yeah, right in the middle of action. He's come along. He caught a touchdown last week. His yardage has gone up. He seems to be playing harder. So keep an eye on him. He makes a decent play here because Buffalo will yield it up through the pass. So any other notes on that game for you, Zach?
Probably pretty uneventful, unless you got a lot of Bills playing.
It is pretty lame. So don't roll that one if possible. Indianapolis has been really heating up lately, and they bring their game into Cleveland. It's going to be an interesting one. I love Peyton Manning this weekend and Reggie Wayne, and it's going to be great. Even Joseph Adai, all those guys make great plays. One thing I'd be curious to hear what you think about, Zach, is Alex Gonzalez, one of the best receivers in the league on third down. They continue to check off to him. How do you like Alex Gonzalez on a developmental level?
Oh, absolutely. And I know Marvin's still considered the number 2 guy in this offense, but you can definitely tell that he's aging. He's not quite the receiver he once was. And Alex Gonzalez is turning into that new number 2, and he's huge on third downs because Reggie Wayne's going to get the number 1 corner. Marvin Harrison's going to get the number 2. He's going to get matched up on a nickel corner or even a linebacker at times, which is a total mismatch for him. And you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league throwing him the ball. So that's why he's so effective on third down. And I expect him to continue to produce at least a decent level. He could be a good number 3 in your lineup, especially with the way that the Indianapolis Colts schedule's going. I mean, they got Cleveland this week, and I believe they got Detroit next week, and then New Orleans after that. So I mean, with Peyton Manning, that whole offense is going to be able to roll in the next few weeks, especially in this game too. I expect Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne to have big games. Joseph Adai should be pretty solid. Dallas Clark should maybe pick it up a little bit. I know he had 5 or 6 catches last game, not a lot of yards. Maybe they'll try and hit him downfield a little bit in this game, but you can play all your Colts and be pretty satisfied with the results in these games. Yeah,
it's going to be good. I really like Joseph Adai. He finally got into the act again last weekend. 2 touchdowns. That was excellent to see out of him. Play him with pride here. He should do well because he's a multi-purpose back who they use both sides, running and passing. So as far as Cleveland goes, they're kind of hit and miss, you know. Braylon Edwards still not catching the ball. I don't understand what's his problem. It seems to be like a mental thing. Kellen Winslow, they've had a harder time getting him the ball. It was interesting for me to see because a couple weeks ago, Winslow had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards in that game. Fantastic game. Now it seems like defenses are saying we're just going to double team him and take him out of the game.
Yeah. Well, and then you expect a lot more out of Cleveland, especially last week when they played Houston, their lowly defense, and they weren't even able to produce in that game. Brady Quinn got benched. He had a couple really bad interceptions, 1 down in the red zone. I think the leash was a little bit short on him. They should give him a little more opportunity than that. I mean, Derek Anderson came in and played even worse.
Right.
So, I mean, Brady Quinn will be the starter again. I just expected a little bit more out of the offense, and I don't know what Braylon's doing. I don't know if he's hanging out with Troy Williamson and watching Troy Williamson catch videos. Right? I have no idea. But he's been like, I mean, he's kind of a hit or miss guy. He'll catch them, he'll make fantastic plays, but at the same time he'll drop 10-yard, first down catches. The catches you need to make to keep drives alive that he seems to be missing. And then Kellen disappeared a little bit last game, but I expect him to bounce back. He's going to need to have a big game in this against the Colts because they're going to need to score in this game. Yep. And then the Colts do yield a lot of yards on the ground, so you can expect Jamal Lewis to get probably at least 20 carries. He should be able to get 80 yards.
Even in a down season, he runs
Jerome
hard.
Harrison, watch out for him. He might have a big play.
Big play.
He's kind of like the Leon Washington of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, you can't really activate Jerome Harrison or even Braylon Edwards right now, which is sad. But so try to roll with him if you can help it. But it is a good defensive matchup. So if you have to play those guys, don't feel too bad about it. It should be a high-scoring game. So
should be.
We're going to go to break right now. Thanks again for checking us out. And we'll be right back after these short messages. So stick around.
What's up, fantasy football junkies? It's Jesse talking to you about my favorite fantasy football website on the web. That's testosteronesports.com. Of course, it's my favorite because it's the website that goes hand in hand with this show that we love to do. The website, also a labor of love, but you're probably saying, Jesse, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you is total league domination. The reason you've got to check out testosteronesports.com is we break down all of the matchups on a weekly basis. We have a bench start article that comes out every single week. Right after the show, we host a fat chat where you can come online with us, ask us your matchup related questions. We'll tell you who we think you should play and who we think you should stick on your fantasy bench. It's all about dominating your fantasy football league. And the best part is all of the content is updated daily and it's all completely free. Yes, that's right. You don't have to pay $49.95 to find out if your player practiced on Friday. I do up-to-date player profiling for all of the different players that are pertinent to your fantasy information, so you don't have to worry about going through a bunch of information that doesn't matter to you. All the players that we profile on our website, testosteronesports.com, are all fantasy relevant guys. So get on there, online, check it out, testosteronesports.com. There's games that you can play on there. It's just there's a plethora of things on there for the fantasy football junkies, and it's free. I know everybody loves free things. My favorite thing in this life is free beer, but next to free beer, it's free fantasy football. So get online, check it out, testosteronesports.com to help you dominate your fantasy football league.